Hey there, my name is Krista KOLODZIEJZYK and I am a fellow dietitian and I am also a dietitian business coach and entrepreneurship educator, and I am so excited to be here to chat with you today. I am the founder of the Dietitian Project, which is a community of open-minded and forward-thinking dietitians who are really passionate about entrepreneurship or who want to be future entrepreneurs. So today I'm going to talk to you about the 6 things that every dietitian needs to know about entrepreneurship. And regardless of whether having your own business is a future pipe dream of yours or whether you've already started a business, I really hope and I think that you're going to get something out of this video today. So hope you enjoy it. Let's jump right in. Hey there, so as I mentioned in my intro, my name is Krista KOLODZIEJZYK from the Dietitian Project, and I'm going to be going through today what dietitians need to know about entrepreneurship. This video is going to be for you if you have ever thought about having your own business. So whether that be taking on clients in a private practice, becoming a recipe developer, becoming a content creator, whatever that might be, but at this point, it still remains a pipe dream. This video is also for you if you are currently running your own business, either full-time or as a side hustle, but you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling uncertain, or you're feeling a lack of clarity. So I hope that this video is going to have a little bit for everyone. And my whole goal with this video is that I want you to walk away feeling confident that you can do it, because you can. And I think if you asked me what the secret sauce was when it comes to becoming a successful entrepreneur, it really is about confidence and the belief in yourself that you can achieve amazing things. And a lot of dietitians believe that because they haven't been taught formally how to run a successful business, that they won't be able to do it. But I promise that you can learn absolutely anything that you want to. And please don't let your lack of knowledge today hold you back from achieving tomorrow's dreams. All right, so what I'm going to be going through today, I'm just going to do a quick little introduction on myself. And then I'm going to be going through the top 6 things that dietitians need to know about entrepreneurship. And then at the very end, I'm going to tell you where you can find some awesome freebies and resources to help you along your journey. So starting off a little bit about me, and I know I talked a little bit about this at the beginning in my intro, but I'm a Canadian dietitian. My background is actually I worked as a retail dietitian for a little while, so I do have some of that experience with one-on-one client care. And then I worked in the food industry for a few years, and then I have recently, within the last 6 months, quit my 9-to-5 job, and I am doing entrepreneurship full-time. So for me, what that looks like is working with dietitians one-on-one and in groups to teach them about entrepreneurship, empower them around entrepreneurship, and coach them around running their own successful businesses. So with that, I'm the founder of the Dietitian Project, which is really a service that offers business coaching for dietitians. And so I am a passionate entrepreneur, and I'm also a part-time MBA student as well. And if you want to find more information about me, feel free to check out my website, www.thedietitianproject.com. You can find me on Instagram at The Dietitian Project, or send me an email, info@kristako.com. So my whole goals with my business and with the work that I do is to really empower and inspire dietitians and future dietitians to pursue entrepreneurship and to facilitate an open-minded and forward-thinking community. I also really seek to recognize the unique paths and opportunities that allow us each to live our best lives, because I know that there really are so many opportunities out there for dietitians. It's just up to us to recognize them as ours for the taking. So let's get into it. The very first thing that I think all dietitians need to know about entrepreneurship is that mindset is absolutely fundamental. You will not be able to succeed if you don't believe that you can do it. And I want to say that one more time for the people in the back. If you don't believe that you can do it, you will not succeed. And experts have actually said that 80% of success is due to mindset and only 20% is due to strategy. So that's how important mindset is. And I love this little visual here, which really shows the reality of success when it comes to anything, but I think especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, that there's all of this stuff going on under the surface. There's the persistence, there's the failure, there's the fear, there's the sacrifice, there's the habits, there's the hard work. And we don't see all of that. All we see is the success, the bright, shiny success that's often depicted as, a beautiful Instagram aesthetic, right? So what people see is often the success without really understanding the grit and the hard work that comes down to having a successful business. And having a strong mindset is really what gets you through all the tough stuff, which is at the bottom, to get you to the good stuff, which is really at the top. So I want to share with you a couple of the essential mindset shifts that come with entrepreneurship. And the list really goes on, but I want to share with you a couple ones that I feel like are really important for this audience. Okay, so the first mindset shift that's really important to consider as a dietitian entrepreneur. I only have the skills that I currently possess versus I can learn absolutely anything. And a lot of people feel like they want to try something, but they have a bit of a limiting belief about themselves that they won't be good at it. Or they're passionate about a topic, but they're too afraid to pursue it because they've never had experience in it. So instead of saying, I can't do that, or I don't know enough about that, why don't we reframe it and say, how can I do that? Or how do I learn more about that? It's obviously important to be realistic about your limitations, but just remember that if you want to learn something, you can. For me, when it comes to entrepreneurship, although I do have experience working in food industry, which really helped to build a lot of my skills and competence, a lot of my knowledge is self-taught. I would say most of my knowledge is self-taught. I've learned through podcasts. I've learned through trial and error. I've learned through my own research. I've learned through reading blogs, through following people on Instagram. These are all ways that you can learn about whatever topic it is that you're interested in. So the next mindset shift that I want to share with you is I'm fearful of being criticized versus I welcome criticism as a chance to engage in constructive conversation. So I don't know about you guys, but this one really rings true for me. There was at one point, and I think there still is to an extent, but I've definitely gotten better and learned to kind of work through this. But there's a lot of us hold back on putting ourselves out there in fear of what others are going to say or think about what we do. And oftentimes, those other people are people within our same profession, which is unfortunate. And I think that all in all, we could do a better job of lifting each other up. But instead of viewing criticism as a thing to be feared and to stay away from, let's think about it as an opportunity to engage in constructive conversation. And I hope by thinking about it in this respect, it will allow you to put yourself out there and remove some of that fear of judgment or criticism that you might be feeling before you put something on Instagram, before you write a blog post, whatever it might be. All right, number 2, what's the second thing that all dietitians need to know about entrepreneurship is that it starts with you. So often people think that when they try and build a business, it has to come down to identifying a gap in the market. Nobody is talking about this topic, therefore I should really talk about it. But in reality, if you find a gap in the market, but you don't care about it and you're not passionate about it, that's not going to make it successful. And that's not going to make you love it enough to want to put your all into it. You have to find something that you are truly passionate about. And so I always encourage people to start with, what is your mission? What do you love when it comes to the field? What fires you up when it comes to the field? What do you have personal lived experience in that will help you to teach others? And don't get distracted at this point by things like, I don't know enough, or imposter syndrome, or it's already been done. Like I said before, You can learn anything that you want to. And then the other thing too is that even though something may have already been done, it's never been done by you. And we all have a unique perspective to bring to the table that's going to automatically differentiate us from other people. All right. Number 3, the third thing that I want every dietitian entrepreneur to know, or every dietitian to know about entrepreneurship, is to know your worth. So in a lot of ways, we as dietitians have been taught to undervalue ourselves. We are expected to work for free during internships. And oftentimes we get into the workforce and discover that our salaries are capped at certain amounts and that there's really limited opportunity for growth, or that compensation is below what would be considered appropriate for the amount of work that we put in. And this isn't the experience across the board or for every single setting, but by and large, this is what a lot of us in the profession feel. So when it comes to owning our own businesses, you have to decide what your time is worth and the value that you bring to the table. So one thing that we need to think about to start off is assessing what's called our money mindset. So what is holding you back from charging you what you're worth? Is it thoughts around, are you really worth that much? Can you really charge that price? What if I offer too high of a price and I disappoint people with my services? Why do you feel that way? And is there really any evidence to suggest that that is true? One important thing to remember here is that there is no right price, there is no wrong price, there is only your price. And we all come to the table with different experience and different value that we can bring. I don't usually recommend that people look externally and look at each other to see what everyone else is charging, because again, at the end of the day, we all have different skills to bring to the table, and we want to make sure that we're pricing appropriately based on both our skills and based on our needs and what do we need to actually get out of our business. The other thing I wanted to mention is that price is an indicator of value. So if you buy something that's cheap, you assume that it is going to be a lower quality, right? Versus if you buy something that's expensive, that's an investment, you make an assumption that there is more value that comes with that, and you will probably invest more of your time and your effort into that because you paid more for it. So that's something to consider as well when you're coming up with your pricing. All right, number 4. So what's the fourth thing that every dietitian should know about entrepreneurship? Is that you don't have to do it like everyone else. If you have an idea for something and you've never seen anyone else do it, I challenge you to be brave enough to go for it. In fact, I would encourage you to block out what everyone else is doing and really listen to yourself when you're trying to figure out what it is that you want to do. Of course, it's really important that we support one another, but if you find that social media is leaving you with a feeling of comparison fatigue, is what I like to call it, which is, I should be doing things differently, I should be doing things better like this person, I should be doing more like this person, then don't be afraid to take care of yourself and mute those people who make you feel that way. Make sure you stay in your lane, you stay true to yourself and your own passions. Number 5, learn how to market yourself. So this is really about learning how to talk about yourself in a way that showcases the incredible value that you have to offer. And you can't just assume that people know what you do or the value that you bring to the table. You have to very clearly articulate it. So marketing is all about the process of interesting potential customers or clients in your products or services. So good marketing in dietetics really means that you're able to communicate ways that you can make people or employers' lives better with the work that you do. And this leads people to know you, to like you, and to trust you enough to want to work with you or to want to hire you. So one of the biggest misconceptions about marketing is that marketing needs to be just purely explaining what you do or selling or telling people outright about your skills or your services. That's not effective marketing. That's definitely marketing. So you're telling people what you do, but it's not the most effective way to market. Effective marketing is using creative ways to showcase your value and knowledge. And this might include creating recipes. It might include writing blog posts. It might include posting valuable content on social media, posting the work or the research that you do on LinkedIn. These are all strategic ways to be able to communicate the value and the knowledge that you bring to the table without outright needing to say, I'm an RD, these are the services that I offer. Of course, both pieces are important, but we want to make sure that we're doing a lot of the stuff on the right. The last thing that every dietitian entrepreneur should know is to have a plan. We wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, correct? So why would you build a business without a plan? And I'm not talking about a need to have a full-on business plan that you would bring to the bank to get financing for your business. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a plan for you to use so you know exactly where you're going and how you are going to achieve those goals. So I teach a 5-phase method. So basically what that looks like is that I know entrepreneurship and building a business, super overwhelming, super overwhelming. And so I like to divide it into 5 digestible chunks. First phase is about defining your vision, defining your mission, and actually setting up your business. Phase 2 is about building and sharing all the work that you do and the value that you bring to the table. This is social media strategy, this is your website, and making sure that you're really communicating your value. Phase 3 is developing and refining. So this is where we think about what is the offer that you're bringing to the table and what are we actually going to charge for that offer. Phase 4 is about delivering and inspiring. So communicating about the work that you do, adding value and inspiring people and motivating people. This is where we really start to think strategically about our marketing efforts and start to think a little bit more from a sales perspective. And then phase 5 is revisit and pivot. So this is where we look back and revisit what we've done, figure out what's been going well, what hasn't been going well, how do we pivot and adjust for the future. I also have a free business planning workbook on my website, which can help with this whole process. So if you go to www.thedietitianproject.com/free-resources, you can find it there. I also talk a lot about these topics in my podcast, The Dietitian Project, which is available on Apple Podcast and Spotify, or feel free to follow me on Instagram at The Dietitian Project. A couple podcast episodes that might be helpful for you. Episode 4, a step-by-step guide to starting your nutrition business. Episode 5, how to start a private practice. Episode 6, marketing 101 for dietitians and dietetic students. And episode 10, social media productivity. How do you have more impact with less time? So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'm so excited for you to listen and to feel inspired and empowered that you can absolutely do anything that you want to do. So please feel free to get in touch with me, info@kristako.com, if you'd like to ever work together in the future or if you have any additional questions. Otherwise, best of luck, and I'm so excited to see you all on Instagram.